Hello ladies and gentlemen, Tevaron here, and welcome back to some more Eternal gameplay. Today we're going to be taking a look at a Feln control deck. This particular list is what I used this season to grind from Diamond 2 into Masters. Before we go over to the list, I'd just like to say a couple of things about playing this particular or similar build of Feln control. The deck is well suited to deal with almost everything in the format. The thing is, if you're going to grind the ladder with this deck, there's something you need to do. You need to play long sessions, and you need to keep notes. You need to note your opponent's name and what they're playing. And that will help you, because though this deck, as I said, has what it takes to deal with pretty much any deck in the format, it really helps to know what your opponent's playing so you know what hands to keep and what hands to mulligan. For example, the deck has Lightning Storms, 2 damage to each unit. Lightning Storm's incredibly good against the aggro decks with a lot of small creatures. Against mid-range or control, it's less good, and it matters what hands you keep. You could keep a good aggro hand against mid-range or control and just get absolutely smashed. So that will help you greatly if you keep yourself a list of your opponents and what they're playing. Not to say that they couldn't change decks between the first time you played them and the second time you played them, but more likely they are still going to be playing the same deck, and it helps a lot. But without further ado, let's take a look at the deck list. We're running 2 Permafrost, a 1-cost removal spell. It stuns the cursed unit for as long as it's cursed, so unless they silence it or play something to destroy an attachment, then it's going to just stay locked down forever. Especially good against cards that recur from the graveyard, something with Revenge or something like Dawnwalker that comes back into play when you play something with 4 or more power. 3 Seek Power to fix our faction base. 2 Annihilates, another kill spell, 2-cost, kill a unit with a single faction. As we said before, 3 Lightning Storms to help with the aggro decks. 2 Vara's Favor, again to help us hit our faction drops, but also good as removal against X1 units. 4 Feln Bloodcaster, a 3-cost 2/5 with an ultimate of pay 7 and draw a card from each player's deck. 4 Wisdom of the Elders, just your ubiquitous extra card draw. 4 Deathstrike, simple as it gets, 4-cost, kill a unit. 2 Feeding Time, this also is a nod to the recurring creatures in the format, things that can give us a headache. We transform a unit into a pig, which as you can see by the tooltip there is a 2-cost 2/2, and then kill it. So bye-bye Dawnwalker forever. Steward of the Past is also something along those lines, a 4-cost 3/5 with Deadly. When we summon it, it silences all units in the enemy void, and enemy units entering the void are silenced. This gets rid of, as we have said several times, your Dawnwalkers, but also things like Inquisitor Mokto or things with Revenge, because they do have to hit the void before they get Destiny and get put back into the deck. This stops that outright as long as it's in play. 2 Yetipult, 4-cost, 4/1. When we summon it, it deals 1 damage to 3 enemies. We can pay 7 and exhaust Yetipult to draw 3 cards and stun it. 4 Champion of Cunning. This card is absolutely devastating if you can play it onto a board where you are either at parity or a little bit ahead or a little bit behind. If you're real far behind, it's probably not going to get you out of it. Champion of Cunning is a 5-cost 5/5. If we have 6 Primal Faction, then we get Flying and Aegis. If we have 6 Shadow Faction, at the end of your turn, all of our units get +2 attack. We generally don't want to drop Champion of Cunning unless we have 6 Primal out, because the Aegis is very important to keeping it alive. As such, when we're playing out our power cards, what we want to try to do is to hit 3 Shadow and 5 Primal as early as possible. That will enable all of our stuff to be played, and then we can hit 6 Shadow at our leisure. 3 Withering Witch, a 5-cost 1/1, which isn't really impressive, but what it does is, when we summon it, each enemy unit's health becomes 1. So Withering Witch plus Lightning Storm is a board wipe for the opponent's board, and, you know, Withering Witch will die too, but that's not a big deal. Or in combination with the next card, which is 4 Black Sky Harbinger. 6 cost, 3/5, Flying, lifesteal, and when we summon it, deals 1 damage to each enemy. 2 Celestial Omen, which is Demonic Tutor at instant speed. Draw a card of your choice from your deck, lets us find our answers, particularly Azindel's Gift, which we play as a 1 of. 7 cost Cursed Relic. At the end of the cursed player's turn, that player discards their hand. There are a lot of matchups that we can only win with Azindel's Gift. It helps greatly against Chalice, helps very greatly in the mirror. A lot of times the armory decks are very hard to beat without Azindel's Gift just to empty their hand. And we essentially have 3 of them with the Celestial Omens in the deck. And last but certainly not least is 3 Vara Fate Touched. 8 cost, 6/6 with Deadly. When you play a shadow unit, including Vara, play an additional shadow unit from your void. This allows us to really rule the late game if they have pretty much dealt with all of our threats. Well, Vara brings back the most relevant ones. Our power base is 8 Primal Sigils, 1 Cobalt Monument, just to help hedge against flooding out, 9 Shadow Sigils, 4 Feln Banner, and 4 Seat of Cunning. Now, we're going to go into this session blind. I haven't been playing ahead of time and keeping a list of what our opponents have been playing, as I recommend that you do if you're going to grind. We're going to see how we can do just going in absolutely cold. Hopefully it'll be a lot of fun. Okay. This is an interesting hand. It's kind of slow. The only thing we've got we can play early is Vara's Favor. So I think we need to mulligan this. And that's not much better. If we're up against aggro, we're probably just going to get trounced here. Alright, opponent decided to throw that hand back. We'll play our Seat of Cunning, and we will go for a second shadow since we already have a second primal. If we draw a Feln Bloodcaster, we will want to be able to play it on 3. But we didn't. Let's go ahead and play our primal and pass. Opponent showing time and primal, so maybe not an extremely fast deck, but it's looking like it's maybe Elysian mid-range or Elysian fatties. In which case, this was a good draw. Slow them down a little bit. Go ahead and kill that Initiate and continue to make our power drops. And that's exactly what it looks like it is. A friendly Wisp. So next turn they could play a Prince and draw 2 cards, which is not the greatest thing for us, but not much we can do about it at present. Well, maybe they don't have it. Okay, that's fine. We'll take our 1 and be happy they didn't play something monstrous. Go ahead and draw 2 cards here. That is a good draw. Get rid of their ramp and their card draw. That is, if they don't have a backlash or something. Which, if they did, we still have the second Lightning Storm. And there is one of the things I was afraid of. Though it does match up okay against Steward of the past, I suppose, though wouldn't be surprised at all if they have a Permafrost in hand to stop that from happening. No, they got Surso, though. Well, I think we're going to play Withering Witch and hope to draw a power for Black Sky Harbinger. And then if we don't, we've still got Lightning Storm. And we may even need the Lightning Storm. They could play Xenon Obelisk here and pump their defense by 1. There's the Permafrost I thought was in their hand. Alright, Xenon Initiation. Well, you're just willing to trade? Okay, I'm willing to do that then. Figured you would have killed that with Surso and then swung in for 5, but who am I to argue? Let's get rid of Surso. Don't mind wasting a Lightning Storm on a 7-2 with Killer. And they've had enough. Yeah, we can't keep that. No matter what we're playing against, that's horrible. That's better. We've got some early removal, we got a threat, and then a little bit mid-game removal. Just as an aside, I am feeling just a little bit under the weather, so if my voice cracks or gives out or whatever, that is the reason. Seek Power was a good draw here. We'll play our Seed of Cunning, and we want to start ramping up on our Primal since we have enough Shadow in hand to play everything. We do want to hit the 5 Primal to make our Champion of Cunning a lot more survivable. Looks like we're up against a Revenge deck. This is generally not a horrible matchup, though it is definitely losable. We just need to draw the right cards at the right time. Feeding Time's especially good in this matchup, as is Steward of the Past. Inquisitor Mokto can be a problem if we're not able to deal with it immediately, though Permafrost helps. These things aren't too big a deal, though they can eventually become very problematic. Let's go ahead and play that. We've got Deathstrike available if we need to cast it. And next turn we'll also have Champion of Cunning with an Aegis. Oh, it's not quite straight Revenge. They are Crown of Possibilities, so they're probably playing Clockroaches. In which case we want to get them dead as quickly as possible because Clockroaches can get out of hand really fast. Well, there's Piercing Grief coming back to pay a visit. And it's got Quick Draw from the Crown. I don't think there's any chance at all that they're playing something like Finest Hour, so I think it's going to be absolutely safe to block here and prevent the 3 damage. And there's their other one. So we can't block both. Just to be on the safe side, I'm going to block the one with the Aegis, just in case they are playing a random Finest Hour. Which it doesn't really matter with the Quick Draw, even if this would have died in either case, and so would theirs. Alright, so that's a good draw. Let's start trying to get up to 5 Shadow. We'll swing in for 5. And then we'll play our Steward of the Past, which should help out if it manages to stay alive. In any event, it's going to silence what's already in their yard so they can't get rebuys on it with Return from the Void or whatever it's called, the 1 cost. Take a creature back out of your void and give it +1/+1. Which would also count as drawing the card and give it more abilities from Crown of Possibilities. So the Steward's gone, the Aegis has popped here. Let's go ahead and play that out and attack. And I want to play the Yetipult, but I'm very afraid that they've got a second Harsh Rule in hand. But I mean, if they've got it, they've got it. I've got to try to get ahead here. They are way up on life on us. If it survives, we can go ahead and draw 3 cards next turn. Well, they don't have it in hand, apparently. Scheme. And they haven't hit a Clockroach yet either, which is really good for us. So slay that. Okay. I would rather it didn't get slain, but I am going to draw 3 cards. I mean, that's okay, I suppose. We're now up to 5 Shadow. So our next Champion of Cunning will be much more threatening. If we actually live that long. No guarantees, I suppose. Let's go ahead and thin out our deck a little bit. And pass. We're going to hold this Withering Witch. Eventually, if the game goes on long enough, we'll have enough mana to drop it and then Black Sky Harbinger in the same turn. Yeah, that is very smart to do. Kill that Yetipult before I get to draw another 3 cards, which I would have gotten to do on our next turn. Alright, nothing from the opponent that turn. Well, I'm happy just to play out our power and pass then. Just play draw go for a little bit. Second Sight. Okay, not too scary if they don't have a card with Echo in hand. And it seems they don't. They're digging for it, though. No Clockroach, please. Which they didn't hit one or they would have echoed right there. Alright, and nothing. There's Black Sky Harbinger. Kinda tempted to just play it out and start beating our opponent's face in, but I think we're going to be patient. We are at the point that we can play one after the other in the same turn now with 11. Alright, would love to draw a Celestial Omen or a Vara or an Azindel's Gift. Huh. Okay, just pass on back then. We got a lot of answers in hand. Although if it goes long enough, it will start to swing in their favor with their Crown of Possibilities going on. Alright, Seek Power is absolutely fine. Feeding time, okay. Bye-bye, little piggy. Seek Power for us as well. So let's get a Primal and play it. Just pass the turn. Got all the kill spells here. Looks like the opponent's not really getting anything going either. Oh, that's something. I'm willing to play that out just naked. Apparently they didn't have a removal spell in hand, or they wanted to see what they drew. Piercing Grief? It's deadly? Okay, well, we'll go ahead and annihilate it then. Keep our 4/4 alive. Start our turn. And maybe we can start closing out the game. Alright, Scheme. They could get their Piercing Grief again. I'm actually really surprised they haven't found anything else as deep as they are into their deck at the moment. Alright, still didn't find anything. There's Vara. We're going to go ahead and attack first. And then I'm not going to play Vara, I'm going to play Black Sky Harbinger. That way, if they have a harsh rule, then we can get Black Sky Harbinger back with Vara next turn. Unfortunately, it's getting silenced. All it's got is flying. We'll start our turn. We'll go ahead and attack. I'm perfectly happy just to grind this out and not overextend. Scheme again. That's fine. There is the Piercing Grief. They're going to try to kill or something again. We will annihilate it again then. We got a 2-turn clock at present. Well, not now. That's fine. It's double damage too, which is unfortunate. We're not going to kill it because it goes back with Destiny. We will go ahead and Wisdom of the Elders. That's a very good draw. But first we're going to go ahead and Permafrost this thing. And attack. Then we will play out our champion. Which is absolutely back-breaking at this point. Yeah, Dark Return, that's what it's called. Yep, getting back that. We do have the answer to that. They're going to try to kill this almost certainly. We have a Deathstrike, so boom. And there's Harsh Rule, but this guy survives. They need another kill spell to actually get rid of him. And even that's not good enough because we can just play Vara and bring him right back. Lifesteal Revenge Charge? Sure, block it. So they're back up to 14, and we're down to 14. Let's draw some cards. Alright, a second Vara. That's really good. Let's play one of these Varas out. We'll get back our other champion of Cunning. And that should put the game away. And it does. So on to the next game. Not real sure about this hand. If we start drawing powers, it's good. Let's risk it. The Azindel's Gift is a bit iffy, especially if we're not against a mid-ranger control deck. If we're against aggro, it's just a completely dead card in our hand. Looks like we may be against mid-range. That was a great draw. Let's go ahead with the banner. We can rattle off about 5 more power cards. I'm going to be happy. Probably Praxis mid-range here. We'll play that. Next turn we'll be able to drop our Feln Bloodcaster. We do need to draw some more power cards. Huh. Nothing on turn 3. Let's play our Bloodcaster. Amber Monument Impasse. Okay. Let's attack. Then we'll get ourselves a Shadow Sigil and play that. If we start missing power drops here, we're going to be in trouble. Yep, Crimson Fire Maul. We do have an answer for that. We're going to Permafrost it. Want to save Deathstrike for Sandstorm Titan, something that can't be permafrosted. Do we play out our Yetipult? Probably not. It's probably just going to die if we play it. Yep, there is the Sandstorm Titan. Let's go ahead and kill that. And now we're... well, that's a good draw. We are still kind of on the back foot, especially if they start chaining off Heart of the Vaults or something here soon. Which they can do this turn, and there he is. Yep. Hoping to draw a torch off of that. Temple Scribe, okay. So, I'm not going to Deathstrike this right away. I'm going to hope to draw a power card here. I didn't, but we're going to Withering Witch. And then Yetipult can also deal with the board next turn if they don't play a Xenon Obelisk or something. Yep, there's the second Heart of the Vault. That's kind of what I was afraid of, them chaining those things off, just one into the other. It's sort of a 3-for-1. 2 damage, draw a card, and a 6/6 creature. Come on, power. That's good. That helps some. Let's go ahead and kill these 2. And we'll just pass. The life gain helps as well. Please not a 3rd Heart of the Vault. Alright, I mean, that's almost as bad. Didn't want me to draw at 7 with the Bloodcaster, I guess. They have removal for the Harbinger in any case. Okay. So, I think we just Deathstrike this and pass. They are down to 4 cards in hand after the draw there. And there's third Heart of the Vault. That is unfortunate. This Azindel's Gift should be good if we manage to get in a position to be able to play it eventually. Dawnwalker's a problem too. So we can play Azindel's Gift next turn. However, this turn, I think we're going to go ahead and Withering Witch. So that the Heart of the Vault will die if it attacks in, or if we play the Yetipult. Purify, okay. So we're going to take 10 here. Which is not an infinitesimal amount of damage, to be honest. We don't have time to play the gift. We need to clear their board, so if there are 3 or less targets, the Yetipult just does its thing on its own, which is nice. Hello, Carnosaur. Killer? Yep. And another Dawnwalker. Okay, so if we play Azindel's Gift, we die. And we may die even if we play this to block, but we have to try. Killer. Okay, so we're going to take 10 here. That does keep that Dawnwalker from reoccurring. Because Steward of the Past does its thing even when it dies in the turn. Torch? Torch, kill me? No torch, kill me. That's a really good draw. I mean, that's a really good draw. What have we got in here? So, we've got several options. I think we just get the Harbinger for the life gain. No, we get Steward of the Past. Yeah, that's what we do. Torch or Obliterate still kills us. So does removal, for that matter. We're at 1. Please have nothing. Alrighty then. So, we can play this. They're only getting rid of 1 card, and I don't think that matters. I think we're just going to pass here. We've got Celestial Omen, which is instant speed. We can go for an Annihilate if we need it, which we do. Yeah. Let's go get an Annihilate. Where are you? There you are. And stop that from happening. If we hadn't had to use that, I would have gone for another shadow creature to just get the recurrence going. Maybe a second Vara at this point. That will not do that, though it is nice to have another blocker out, so we'll play that and pass. Okay. So now we're in a position that we can start chaining stuff. We're going to do that and go for a Bloodcaster because we can cast it. And then we'll play that and get back Harbinger. And we're going to attack for 4. We're still very precarious. Obliterate still just kills us here. If we can get in a swing from that, then we're in good shape. We didn't. And we actually won that game. Oh, I did not expect to win that game. We were in horrible shape there. But those things can happen sometimes. Let's do one more. Okay, so against aggro this is great. Against not aggro this is horrible. We're going to bank on aggro and keep it. I do like having the 5 powers in our opening hands so that we can guarantee not missing a power drop for a long time. This is Skycrag aggro Burn Queen, anything of the sort, then we're in good shape. But looks like that's not the case. We'll try to make the best of it. Maybe it's the Huru Flyers deck? Could be Chalice. We see time come out of them here in a couple of turns. Huru Control, maybe? I haven't seen Huru Control in a while. Nope, Huru Flyers. Okay. Alrighty then. Well, let's pop that Aegis. Could very well have a Protect in hand to just put it back and dome us for 5. Valkyrie Enforcer, so silence. Okay, so we could wipe their side of the board. We attack in, they block, and then double Lightning Storm. Not really keen on that. I think I want to pass in Wisdom of the Elders here. Yep, Eager Owlet. No blocks, of course. We don't have a flyer. And they do have a fast spell, so it's either... Oh, it's got to be Protect. That's really the only fast spell that it would have paused for there. The other fast spell they run generally is Backlash. So... let's go ahead and seek power. We've got our 5 primal, so let's get a shadow. And see what they want to protect when we Withering Witch. If anything, maybe they'll just wait for the kill spell to protect. Yeah, they let that happen. I'm willing to attack in here and trade with anything they want to block with. Okay. Did not expect that. Maybe they're planning to protect this and make it a 5 power again. Little do they know we have 2 Lightning Storm. Of course, they could also have 2 Protect. They do run 4 of them generally. Peacekeeper's Prod, you know, that kind of does similar stuff. So we're not going to be able to kill this. Though we can bolster our life. So that's good. So do you want to save this or make this big? Oh, they're running Finest Hour too. Okay, I did not expect that. You don't generally see these decks running Finest Hour, though I guess it's perfectly reasonable. Maybe they don't have a Protect in hand. And there's a Gem Blade. We'll take the 6. They're tapped out. So now is the time to do this. And we could have Withering Witched and only used 1 Lightning Storm, but I kind of like holding on to the Withering Witch. Alright, draw some cards there. Wild Cloud Snake. That thing can get out of hand really quickly. Let's attack. Probably not going to block. And then let's... I mean, they could play Harsh Rule, but I don't think you'd really want to in a deck like this, so let's just flood the board. I mean, you never know. I mean, people do silly things sometimes. They very well could be running Harsh Rule. Yep. Send it to the ground. Pump that up. Get us for 3. Let's attack. Try to race. Need some removal. I don't think we can win this race. Yeah, let's just play it all. Oh, Shelter Wing Rider is big. So holding some stuff back to block, are we? I guess if they don't, they're just dead. So maybe we can win this race. So they can block 6. We've got 7 going through. They have to block at least one of these and lose a thing. So if they keep this alive, they got 5, they got 9, and we're dead. I don't think there's much we can do to stop that. We definitely can't block, so let's just hope they block badly. If not, we're going to lose this. And by badly, I mean this block one of these, but yeah, they're not doing that. So we are dead. I'm just not going to cast the Bloodcaster. Going to make them just try to bluff a removal spell or something. If they just attack, we're dead. Yeah. Good game. Either way, you win. Just hit me. There you go. Good game. All right. I think that will do it for this video. It was a pretty good play session. Again, if you're wanting to run a deck that's similar to this, you know, it doesn't have to be this exact build. There are lots of flexibility in this list. Some people run 2 Backlash. Some people don't run the Yetipults at all. The things that are kind of ubiquitous are the Black Sky Harbingers, the Champion of Cunning, some number of Vara. One Azindel's Gift is kind of ubiquitous. Steward of the Past is, as is Feln Bloodcaster. The rest is kind of, you know, mix and match to your heart's content. But anyway, if you're wanting to grind with something like this, again, I recommend long play sessions and keeping a list of your opponents and what they're playing so that you're better informed about what hands to keep. You don't want to keep a hand like we did that game with 2 Lightning Storms if you're not against aggro. Against aggro, it's absolutely backbreaking. Against mid-range, not so much. But again, here is the deck list. I will also have it in text form that you can import directly into the client in the description below. And thank you so much for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, let me know in the comments, and by leaving a like below, it really does help tremendously. And of course, subscribe if you'd like to see more in the future. I have been Tevaron, and until next time, friends, be excellent to each other.